All right, we're recording now. So, what do you guys think about the shirt? Wealth Mindset Group. Check it out. And today's Tuesday, another beautiful day. And I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what topic we could cover, right? What's the topic we could cover today? Thanks for the shirt. Yeah, nice shirt, right? Let me know if you guys want some. I'm gonna submit another order within a couple weeks, so we can get some shirts to you guys. And I tried ordering some hats, but it didn't. The hats didn't. They didn't look very nice. So I would need your sizes, and I could place the order. Another thing, we do have coffee mugs for you coffee drinkers out there. I still haven't had my first cup of coffee. I was up last night to 4 in the morning. We're actually building a few websites that I have. Um, and it's about having multiple sources of income. I'll tell you how many sources of income I have. I have, this company, Wealth Mindset Group, that I started for personal growth and development. And we're working in this business, which is another company, which is the network marketing business that we're doing with I Am Academy. And in that business, you're able to trade forex and cryptocurrencies, which is great, right? And the funny part about it is I actually have another business. This is the third business, which is called the Crypto Lifestyle Club. We also have a channel for the Crypto Lifestyle Club. Now, I ended up buying the domain for Crypto Life School and CryptoLifeAcademy.com. So I actually own those domains, and we already have the logo. We're using the same logo as Crypto Lifestyle Club. But the reason I started the school was because I got into projects that did like 10,000% returns. Okay. People don't know what Hex token is. What is Hex token? What is the Hex crypto? Hex, HEX, is basically a cryptocurrency that is like a CD. So when you go to a bank and you have money, let's say you have 20,000, you're not going to sit on that 20,000. You're going to give it to a bank, and the bank is going to give you a percent, an interest rate attached to that money, right? So people earn, let's say, two, three, $4, $5 a day just by putting their money in a bank. Now, that's not a lot. The banks are not paying people a lot of money. And what do they do with your money? They literally go gamble with your money. They go out there and, they start gambling with your money. So what I did was I purchased the domains for Crypto Life School and Crypto Life Academy, and I'm working with a team of developers that are bringing in people to those websites online through Google. So what happens is people don't know about these technologies, and Hex is designed to replace the CD of the banks. So that is the old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is how much Ethereum do you have? How much Bitcoin do you have? Do you have any Hex? Have you staked any of the Hex? Now, what does a stake mean? A stake means that basically you burn the supply of the Hex, and you know, you put it away for 15 years or 7 years or 10 years. So when you do that, there's less supply and it's worth more money. So we literally saw this token go from 0.0001 to zero point zero 0.01 within 10 months. And it's a CD, it's a bank CD, but it's on the blockchain. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. It's an ERC20 token, which could eventually have its own blockchain, right? So, my mentor Bob Proctor, he's very big on sources of income. when you own property, I sold the property 2 weeks ago. I actually sold two properties 2 weeks ago. Um, that was another source of income, rental income. So I got rid of two properties. Why did I do that? Because I'm putting more money into cryptocurrencies, into blockchain technology, and I'm also building my websites. We're going to start building wealthmindsetgroup.com, which is another domain that I own that I haven't even started to build. So pretty soon we're going to start building wealthmindsetgroup.com. The reason that I started building that other Crypto Life School and Crypto Life Academy is because just last week alone, I was on Zoom calls all week helping people, educating them on what Hex is, because people want to make money. I actually have the chart of the performance that Hex did. Hex did 10,000% return in like less than 10 months. It outperformed Amazon, Ethereum, it outperformed Bitcoin. So the beautiful part about Hex is every time Bitcoin goes up, because I want Bitcoin to go to 100,000. So every time Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up as well. And then Hex goes up. So when Bitcoin goes up, it loses steam. And then so does Ethereum, it loses steam, right? And then all the money goes into Hex. All the money is coming into Hex. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes to $1. So, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I'm telling you guys what I'm doing with my money. And it's like they say, follow the money. So I educate people. I'm like a Robert Kiyosaki. I'm educating people. But the funny part about it is Robert Kiyosaki, he missed the boat on Hex. And he does hold Ethereum. If you ever hear him on the YouTube channel, the Rich Dad Radio Show with Robert Kiyosaki, he's always talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin because he knows that when these house of cards, when these cards come crushing down, it's going to devastate the whole global economy. It's going to devastate the housing market, restaurant owners, pizza shops, freaking every type of sector, hotel industry. If you drive cars for as a taxi driver or Uber driver, it's going to affect every business. And I feel like Amazon is doing great right now just because they're doing deliveries and everyone's at home on this lockdown craziness, right? But it's like, what a coincidence. Now the virus could be on the cash. So try not to have that many dollars and pennies and euros and pounds. Don't carry anything physical, right? So we're going into a digital age, an information age. And that's what Bob Proctor's talking about. He says that you need to unlearn everything that you thought you knew to learn something new. So going back to the sources of income. So like I said, I'm already at 3, right? I'm getting ready to publish my first book with Peggy McCall. That's 4. Um, I still have my company, the Loan Modification Clinic, which is basically helping people that are losing their homes. So a quick question, if I may, when building multiple sources of income, do you wait to be good at one, or do you it just depends. It depends if you can manage to do it the right way. Um, One of the things that I got good at is doing marketing because I used to do radio every single day. So I got good at just give me a mic. Hey, Ross, you have to be on at 10 o'clock. Okay, great. And to be honest with you, like with these calls, I haven't been consistent this week because I've been staying up late working on another business. But I promise tomorrow we're gonna do the call at 11:30 on the dot. So today I was 5 minutes late. But you know, you have to grind, you have to hustle, as they say, right? Because the money printing is only gonna get worse. They're gonna print more money, okay? And it's gonna cause inflation. And what is inflation? Inflation is a devaluation of the currency. So the currency, let's say, is attached to a piece of gold or silver, right? Division. when you divide something by something else, it gives you a ratio, right? So you have a ratio, which is called a gross domestic product import, a GDP. You have an unemployment number, and you have a supply and demand scenario where countries are producing stuff, and they're trading with other countries. Now, America, what they did was they put an embargo on China, and they started messing with the big fish, right? The basically the one that controls the new system, which is China, has like straight power, and America is already failing. Donald Trump doesn't want to leave the White House, and no, Hex Crypto is not that. It's not on Coinbase. That's why I have the school. The reason I started the school is because I'm helping people, educating them on what MetaMask is, what Uniswap is, what decentralized finance is. Now, to talk about decentralized finance, think of it like this. Every time you go on Facebook or Instagram, do you get paid? No, you don't. You don't get paid to surf the internet, right? So on Coinbase, you can find a token called the BAT token, BAT, Basic Attention Token. Now, Basic Attention Token is a browser on your internet. It's kind of like Google Chrome, but you're actually getting tokens every time you're browsing the internet. You're making coin, as they say. You're making some coin, right? In the crypto world, they say you're making coin, or they say, a lot of no coiners are onboarding. No coiners mean you have no coin. You don't know what digital currencies are. So, you know, there is a lot of no coiners. And that's why I started the school, because people don't understand what finance is and what the monetary system is, what fractional reserve banking is. I know that we're part of a network, and we're trading forex, and we're trading cryptocurrencies now. But you have to understand the the science or the technology behind what you're trading. And when you talk about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is 100 million units, and each unit is called a Satoshi. So when you buy into Bitcoin, you're thinking, oh my God, 18,000 for one Bitcoin, kind of like a baseball card, right? This is not a baseball card, guys. This is uh, a system that cannot be hacked by the government. And that's why the governments are worried right now, because they were used to having control of your money. And now, guess what? This is going to ruin the banking system, which it's already ruined anyway, because it's a broken system, because the people at the top, they're the ones that get rich, and they're the ones that make all the money if the economy gets good or bad. Now, what my mentor Bob Proctor told me is, you could be at the top. And I was always wondering, like, well, how could I be at the top if everything is physical? And I'm not, let's just say, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase Bank, or I'm not, a Donald Trump that created, a hotel empire or something like that, right? And I understand that. I understand that it's going to be practically impossible for you to have that residual income. I get it, right? And this is one thing that I should talk more about on the lectures, or on what we talk about, right? Because I only deal with the dream world. I don't deal with the physical world. In other words, I don't worry about what I see. I only think of the image, because I understand how to use the creative faculties. So, what are the creative faculties? The creative faculties is your imagination, your will, perception, reasoning, intuition, and memory. So, some sources of income die out, and some sources of income will continue to pay you. But the beautiful part about what we teach is that we teach how to create something from nothing. Now, I know that sounds illogical, but these concepts are illogical. Like illogical is creating an idea, just like Satoshi Nakamoto did when he created Bitcoin, and making a new industry, or just game changing technology, or just an idea. It could be selling socks, it could be selling um, scarves that you made on your own, it could be anything you want. Now, Earl Nightingale, he was a radio host back in the 60s, and he says that the subconscious, which is thinking when you're not thinking because you only think 3% of the time, the subconscious is like the dirt. It's immoral. You can plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you can plant corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant. So it picks up the signal because you're a receiving station and you're a broadcasting station. So it picks up the signal of what you're entertaining in your mind. That's why Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says that the only thing that could grow is the thing you give energy to. So what are you giving your energy to? Now, the banks know this. The banks know that they can print more money from zero, because that's what it is. It's like the dirt. They're just printing more money. And what do? Mathematics. They just give it to the people. Now, the people, what do? They go spend it on what? Maybe on stuff that they don't need, like a $100,000 car or a $300,000 house. So they're out there spending, running around spending this money that they got a loan for. They have a loan for. So it's a 1+1, or it's a 0+1 game. So for every debt, they have to they have to lend the money. For every time they print, they have to lend it. So what happens when people don't have the credit to get the money? Then what happens is the whole system comes crumbling down. And then you get a depression type of scenario, which the last depression was in 1913. So we haven't seen something like this. No one has seen anything like this. I think the only one close to seeing something like this is Bob Proctor, because he's like 86 years old. But everyone around from World War I or 1913, they're all dead already. So you can't, the only way you can learn this is by studying 1913 depression and understanding how a currency is valued. And back then it was valued with gold. Now it's not valued by anything. It's just a piece of paper. And the reason they call it fiat, because fiat currencies, which are they're not digital, they're not cryptocurrencies. Fiat currencies, in the Greek word fiat, means let it be. So just let it be. Whatever it is, right? But we give it value because of the energy. We're giving that money value because we're actually believing into the idea that it has value. So Napoleon Hill says there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one's ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. So we're going around thinking that this is true. It's like I have a pen and I say, hey, do you see a pen? Yes. Is it true that I have a pen? Yes. Okay. Well, what if I told you it's not a pen? Then you would say, there's no way. I see a pen. What color is it? Oh, well, it's silver and gold, right? And I say, well, it's not silver or gold. It's a different color. So perception is everything. And it's your perception that makes your reality. It's what you perceive things to be. Is there a crisis? Yes, there is. Why is there a crisis? Because according to the facts, they keep printing more money and they keep doing this and this and this. Like, okay, fine. There's a crisis. You've agreed on it, your state of belief system. And there was a professor named William James back in the 1900s that Bob Proctor loves talking about. So I actually did a little bit of research, right? And William James says that your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situations will change. So it's like you are the most you've ever made is 100,000. Okay, great. That's the most I've ever made, 100,000. Would you like to make $100,000 a week? If your belief system has never been there, if you've never had a feeling, and some people are not even making 100,000, some people are making 30, 20, 35 because you're playing a small game. That's why I carry this pen and I write a big number on my palm, like a million or 10 million. And I look at that number because I want that number to go in my subconscious mind. Once it goes in my subconscious mind, it's over. It produces the thoughts, the things, the situations, the events that will occur because the energy is intelligent. You are energy and you're moving at a high speed of vibration and you're thinking on a certain frequency. And that frequency is moving at a high speed of vibration. And the life that you want is already here. How is it already here? Because everything there ever is or ever was and ever will be is 100% evenly present in all places at all times. So that means nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. How does that happen? Well, science and theology, they disagree on a lot of things, but they come to an unanimous decision on one thing, that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. Everything you want's already here. Energy just is. Spirit just is. 100% evenly present in all places at all times, no past, no future, is the cause and effect of itself. And when you figure that out, that you are a human being, that you're here to experience something new that you haven't experienced in the past, and that you're for expansion and fuller expression, never for disintegration, never for the past, never for hard times. You're here to go forward. James Allen wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh, and he says that environment is more important than heredity. What is heredity? Your DNA, where you were born, who your parents are. Because you have a piece of your mom and your dad in you through the DNA. And that DNA goes back a long time. And all the things they did is a part of who you are. So heredity is important. But guess what's more important? Environment. That's why James Allen says, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. What do you see? Do you see poverty? Good. Tune into it. Keep tuning into it. It's going to be delivered right on schedule. Or do you see abundance? Great. Keep tuning into it because guess what? It's going to be delivered right on schedule. It's up to you. It's positive or negative. It's up to you. So I decided to work on the negative, to work on multiple sources of income, to work on building a network, to work on mentoring people, to work on multiplying that, multiply things. Because you are a creator, you're an image maker, and you have a self-image of who you are. And until you let go of who you are or who you think you are, you're never going to make the million. So that's the way. The way is knowledge. That's why when Napoleon Hill would start off his lectures, he would say, "Oh, divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with." So you were born with the riches because you're a spirit. You're God's highest form of creation. But you're looking at yourself as you don't know what you're doing, you're not schooled, you don't know as much as Ross does, how could you ever know, it's going to take you years. Well, guess what? Do the work, do the research like I did, or just jump on my calls because I'll take you there. I'll literally take you there. And what's there? There is a place, and there is here now, but you can't see it. There is a certain place right now in your mind, and in your mind is where the power is. because your mind is not your brain. Bob Proctor, he studied with Leland Van Vanderwall and Earl Nightingale back in the 70s. He studied with the biggest radio broadcaster in the United States, Earl Nightingale, which was actually mentored by Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill was actually mentored by Andrew Carnegie, and Bob Proctor mentored me. I'm sitting there with Bob Proctor in his backyard. He has a pool. We're having dinner. We're there with other consultants from Proctor Gallagher Institute. I seen him in New York. We were hanging around in New York, in Carnegie Hall, guys. Never been to New York. New York is beautiful. A lot of buildings, a lot of busy streets. Because we think in pictures. Like James Allen says, we think in pictures and it comes to pass. Our environment is but our looking glass. If you're around people that have abundance, if you're around people that want the best for you, if you're around people that are successful, the reason we talk about millions and making money and building a network and having multiple streams of income is because Wallace Waddles says in the book, The Science of Getting Rich, how can you experience something new if you're broke? How could you experience something new if you're depending on your paycheck from your boss or from the government? Why would you do that when you can literally take the energy and test it? Grab a pen, go into a room, figure out what you really, really want. Write it down. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a business. I'm making residual income. How much residual income? How many people are in your business? What type of car do you drive? What type of bank account do you have? And eventually it's going to be cryptocurrency bank account. How much Ethereum do you have? All right. Tell yourself, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 10,000 Ethereums for my retirement, or just Ethereum coming in. And that's why I started the school, because there's certain things that happen in the world where it becomes like a boom, like everybody's involved. And cryptocurrency is that thing where everyone's involved. I did the same thing back in 2010, where there was a program called the Home Affordable Modification Program that Obama, the last president, he gave that program to middle class America because a lot of people were losing their homes. So I don't know what part of the world people are in, but back in 2009, there was a recession. Recession is close to a depression. A depression is when your unemployment rate is at over 25%, I believe. When your unemployment is over 25%, which the United States unemployment is over 25%, they're in a depression. But the reason that they don't say that they're in a depression is because they need Wall Street, the elite. They need them to be okay. So they make it seem, oh, the numbers are okay. We were expecting 970,000 people unemployed. We got 950. So I guess things are okay. But in the background, behind the curtains, like, curtains behind the curtains, it's horrible. It's a mess. People are living in the forest. People are living in parks with tents. People are living on the expressway, like freaking under a bridge, right? So the system is programmed negatively. The system we live in, the money system we deal with, is programmed negatively, just like your mind. Now, we said the mind is not the brain. The mind is an activity. Your activity is programmed negatively by what you've seen in your life, what you smell, taste, hear, or touch. Now, because the mind is programmed negatively, from what you've seen as a child, you have to go back to when you were a child, and just find out the things that pissed you off. Find out what they were, and then write them down. Find out, maybe you had an uncle that said you were always going to be poor, or he told you that you were a loser, and you have this resentment, you have this anger towards your uncle because he always made you feel bad. and you still carry that part with you. So it's like you have to go back as far as you can and figure out what your negative emotions were lingering in your mind, because they're in the subconscious. And in the subconscious is that program of belief system of who you are. And if you haven't read the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics is a book that is recommended by Bob Proctor as well, where they talk about women getting plastic surgery on their face and stuff like that, and how they would feel better because they would look in a mirror and they would feel better. Now, Bob Proctor also said that you may want to go in front of a mirror. Napoleon Hill said the same thing. You may want to go in front of a mirror and tell yourself something that you really, really want, regardless if it's happened or not. You go in front of a mirror and you tell yourself, you know, hi, my name is so and so. I will achieve this by, I'm so happy and grateful now that you could say this. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have multiple sources of income. I'm making millions of dollars. I'm traveling the world. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. Be specific, because everyone has a different goal. Like for me, I say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a New York Times bestseller. I wrote a book, my first book, at which I'm actually getting ready to publish. So you say in front of a mirror, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a New York Times bestseller. I'm impacting millions of people's lives, and life is going great. And the same thing for you. You may have a different goal. It could be a car, it could be a house. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a beautiful 7-bedroom home with 7 bathrooms, a beautiful a pool, and a nice backyard, and all this stuff, right? It doesn't matter what you're going through right now. What matters is fantasy. You have two sides to you. You have the left brain and the right brain. The right brain is the creative side. That's the one that society has programmed you to turn off through the news, through the school system, through they wanted you to use the left side, the logical side. And you've been using the logical side up to this point. And I'm here telling you right now that you need to disregard that logical side and go to the right side, to the creative side, and build a beautiful picture of abundance and write down your life as you want it to be. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just focus on what you really want and write it down. Okay? So yeah, so that's what I want to tell you guys, and I want you guys enjoy your day, go out there, crush it. See you guys tomorrow at 11:30. I hope you found this information useful. Let's see how many people are on the call. So we got 10 participants. Take a screenshot of that. And like I said, if you got here late, no worries, no big deal. You can see this video on our YouTube channel, Wealth Mindset Group. Join the channel, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.